Okay, this is going to be the first video in Algebra 2, the radicals unit. This is going to be on simplifying radicals. Okay, what you have to do, we sort of talked about this a little bit. When you break down the square root, we're going to do the same thing. 2 and 125, that would be 5 and 25. That'd be 5 and 5. Cross off the double branches. Now, what you have to do is look for this number. This means the number of things you can circle would be 3. Still, the only thing I would have out of that is I can only take one per thing. Whatever I don't circle, don't cross off, goes in here. Now, what I have to do for this, okay, all right, I take the exponent, okay, and I divide by the root, okay. So 7 divided by 3, okay, all right, 7 divided by 3 is 2 and basically 1/3. So what does that mean? This is the exponent outside. This is the exponent inside, okay? So I got x to the 2, x to the first. All right, now, when I do 2 divided by 3, I get 0. Basically, I only get 2/3. So that means that y to 2 stays all on the inside. There is none. Then I go 19 divided by 3. 19 divided by 3 happens to be 6.3, so 6 and 1/3. So that means I'm going to have z to the 6th outside, z to the 1st on the inside. So this represents the exponent inside, okay, based on the root, okay? Now this one would be 2 and 49, 7 and 7. Since it's a square root on pairs, so 7, I didn't cross off a 2, okay? Now I'm going to take 18 divided by 2. I just get 9, so that means x to the 9 outside. I do 3 divided by 2. That's going to be 1.5, okay? So you have to have an idea, like 1.5 is 1.5, so that's going to be the exponent outside. That 1 is going to be the exponent inside. Z to the 1 divided by 2, that's just going to be a half. So that's going to be 1 there, and that would be my answer, okay? All right? So this one, break down 324, divided by 2, 2, 162, 2, 81, okay? 3, 27, 3, 9, 3, 3. Now, since it's a 4, I got to circle those 4, okay? So only allowed 1 there, okay? All right, what's going to be there? The only thing I didn't circle, 2 times 2, which would be 4. Now I'm going to divide 30. 30 divided by 4, okay? 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. Now, based on the root, that would be 7 and 2/4, okay? Because that's what the root is. That would be the half. So this would be x7 outside, x2 on the inside, okay? 71 divided by 4, okay? 71 divided by 4 is 17.75. Well, what would that be? That would be 17 and 3/4. So that would be y17 outside, y3 inside. All right, z80 divided by 4 would just be 20, so z20 on the outside. That would be my answer. So what you have to do is make that in the version of the root for the fraction to figure out what's inside. Okay, so you guys try these. Okay. All right, now, when we have operations, what we have to do is break down all the radicals first. So that one's prime. Don't need to do anything with that. That's 3 and 9, 3 and 3. Cross that off. Now, if you've got an extra number out here, when I circle my pair, I can multiply by that outside number. So that's going to be 36 square root of 3. This is prime. Okay, 2, 16, 2, 8, 2, 4, 2, 2. Cross off those, pair, pair. So what I'm going to multiply, this, and this. 40 times 2 times 2, which would be positive 160 square root. What did I not cross off? This. Now that I've reduced those, I can combine these numbers. 50 plus 36 would be 86 square root of 3. Negative 18 plus that would be positive 140 square root of 2. And that would be my final answer. I cannot combine them. Those are not like terms. For the multiplication, what you can do is use the box. 8, positive square root of 12, 3, minus square root of 12. 8 times 3, 24, 3 square root of 12, 8, negative 8 square root of 12, okay? 12 times that would be negative square root of 144, which would reduce to negative 12. Now, I've got to reduce these guys here, okay? So I'm going to do that off to the side. 3 square root of 12, that'd be 2 and 6, 2 and 3. There's my pair. Okay, so what I have here is I have 24. All right, this is positive 3 times 2, which would be 6 square root of 3. For negative 8 square root of 12, it's the same breakdown where I have a pair of 2's with the 3. Okay, so that's going to be negative 16 square root of 3 because I can multiply this times one of those. And then I got negative 12. Okay, all right, so these combine, 24 minus that would be 12. These combined, 6 minus 16 would be negative 10. Okay, and that would be my answer. All right, do one more of those. Yep, I do one more. Okay, so I got negative 6, positive square root of 5, negative 4, positive 2 square root of 5. Okay, this times this is 24. This times this is negative square root of 5. This times this is negative 12 square root of 5. Okay, this times this is 2 square root of 25. Okay, positive. Okay, all right, now this would be 2 times 5, because that's what that is, which would give me positive 10. So I got 24 minus 4 square root of 5 minus 12 square root of 5 plus 10. Okay, so I can combine these. That's 34. Combine those, that's negative 16 square root of 5. Okay, all right, so you basically just have to reduce. I cannot reduce those because those are prime. Okay, all right. So go ahead and work on these. This one's a little bit challenging down here. You're going to need some room for that one. Okay, now these, okay, what I want to do, I multiply this. So I got 20 square root of, okay, 8 times 72, 576. Okay, I add these exponents. That's x26. Break this down. 576 divided by 2 is 2 and 288, 2 and 144, 2 and 72, 2 and 36, 2 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 3. Okay, so I cross off the double branches. Since it is a squared, I can circle pairs. Pair, 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 pair. Now, what does that mean? I can do 20 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so 20 times 2 is 40, times 2 is 80, times 2 is 160, times 3 is 480. And that's just going to be outside of the square root. I take 26. I would divide that by 2 and I get 13. So that's just x to the 13th power, and that's it. I do not have a radical there, okay? All right, let me change this one here to 12. Okay? So what I do is this times this, which is 36. This times this, which is 150. Add those, which would give me 19. Okay, break that down. 2, 75, 3 and 25, 5 and 5. There's my pair. 5 times 36 is 180. 2 times 3, because that's left over, would be 6. I take 19 divided by 2. That's going to be 9.5, which since I'm dealing with the square root is 9.5. So that's x to the 9, x to the 1. Okay, and that would be my answer. Okay, you guys go ahead and try those. Try that one. Okay, now for these, okay, I'm going to talk about how you simplify with the square roots. Okay, now what we're looking for is so this is perfect, so cubes. So watch. Normally I would just multiply by this, but since it's a cube, I got to make sure I multiply by 3. Why? Because this times this times this will automatically just be 8 in the denominator. So what I have to do is make sure that I multiply by this and by this. So what I got is I got 10 cube root of 8 times 8, which is 64. Okay, let's break down 64. That's 2 and 32, 2 and 16, 2 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. Now, since it's cube root, I can circle 3 items. 3, 3. So what does that mean? Outside, I would have 10 times 2 times 2, all over 8. That's 20. That's 40 divided by 8 will just be 5. So that simplified very nicely for us. Okay, that's the key with that one. For this one, I have to multiply by the conjugate. We sort of talked about this with complex numbers. Okay. All right. Now, what ends up happening here is I just have to multiply these and these. Just like what we did with the complex numbers, the middle disappears. So on the bottom, 5 times 5 is 25. Positive, positive, negative square root of 9. Okay, well that's going to be 25 minus 3, which would give me 22. Okay, this part here, you can distribute. That's going to be 12 times 5, which is 60. Okay, 12 times negative 3 is 12 square root of 3. Okay, now what you have to look for, can this reduce at all? It cannot. And just like sort of we did with the quadratic formula, what all these can be divided by? 2. So what that would be is 30 minus 6 square root of 3 all over 11. Okay? All right? So this one, I'd want to multiply by square root of 2 plus 5. Square root of 2 plus 5. Okay? The bottom part would be square root of 4. Whoops, not 5, sorry. Okay? Negative 5 times 5 would be negative 25. Okay? All right? So square root of 4 is 2. Okay, 2 minus 25, I got negative 23 down here. Then I multiply that. That'd be 2 square root of 12. 12 times that would be 60. This cannot reduce, and that would be my answer. Okay? All right, so why don't you guys go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and work on those. Okay? And that is simplifying radicals.